Welcome to Midday Repartee. I am Rotten Glory. I'm joined today by my co-host, Scotland's greatest shit superhero, Captain
What's up,
Fuckhead.
fuckers?
Yeah,
How are you, Rob?
doing good. A lot of shit going on. Gonna, I'm trying to put it out of my mind, focused on more productive things,
Yeah,
like
that's
hanging
the
out
way,
with
man.
with you cool folks,
That's the way.
for sure.
Yeah, just focus on the productivity.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man. Got to get the work done. That's the most important thing. Also with us is Mitchell. How are you today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
ComicsGate's greatest mod. Give him his
he
props.
is
I don't
rocking.
know. I
He
don't
is
know.
rocking.
I'm just trying to be a top tier link monkey. That's pretty much what I do.
That's so
But-
Yeah.
valuable, though. And what I like is that you don't just link campaigns. You're paying attention to the discussion, the conversation happening. You'll link channels or different, whatever it might be. You'll find it. You'll hunt it down and give people access to it. It's really helpful.
That's why I'm
I'm
trying to
di-
be a top tier link monkey. None of that bottom rung. Like let me go look in the description, copy the link.
Right.
I'm digging the link monkey description.
Very nice.
That works for me.
I kind of remember a talk when we had about moderators before, and there's different types of moderators, and I feel like Scotsman, when you kind of like how you explained it, he had a much more well-developed opinion of it, and I can't embody that full moderator that Scotsman has. That would be like the ideal moderator, but I can drop links in the chat and make it a little bit easier for the guys on the panel.
You're
Yeah.
ideal for me, my friend.
Thank you.
So today I thought we would talk about is the loss of some of that mystery that used to surround creators, and it's not like it's completely gone, but a lot of it has dissipated due to all the social media interactions, more access to creators. Has the loss of that mystery helped or hurt creative mediums? I think it's really like when I think of a mysterious creator, like maybe Stanley Kubrick comes to mind, and it's like he would rarely, does his interviews rarely. You don't know, there's this mystery surrounding him, and he lets his work, the work speaks for him, and I don't know. There's a part of me that I see a lot of value in that, but I also really enjoy like what ComicsGate brings to the table in terms of having that access to a creator, getting to know them, and see their process. What do you think about it, Captain Fuckhead?
I don't think it's. I like it. I like. I mean, I went to art school, so I've grown up in formative years with those kind of the people that go on to be critics. You know those people we've talked about before. That the artists aren't part of the art world, writers aren't part of the publishing industry.
Yeah.
And I can't stand those people that end up becoming critics, and the way that they talk about art and all that kind of shit. It just drives me up the fucking wall. When you walk into a gallery, I think at this point the artist was particularly feeling very drunk. I don't think he was really painting his wife, more the image he was seeing while he was drinking. Great, like he painted a picture. Shut the fuck up. I'd rather hear from the artist. If they're still around, of course. If not, leave me to make my own opinion. Don't need to be informed by these weirdos.
Yeah.
So I like it. I mean, I love it. I think it's a great thing.
What do you have any initial thoughts on this topic, Mitchell?
Honestly, I don't really like it. There's a few creators that I like their work, that I purposely don't follow because I don't really agree with them, and I try to take steps to not be around when they're speaking about their personal interest, because I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear you talk about this. I'd rather just put out that next thing. Don't sit there and lecture me about this. To put out the next song, put out the next whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not here. I'm not following you because I believe that you're leading the charge against this thing or that thing. I'm here because I liked what you did, and I'm just trying to see if I can figure out when that next thing's dropping.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think in modern times, a lot of fans have parted ways with things they really enjoyed because of that reason. Where it became too much behind the scenes chatter about what their messaging is, or their agenda, or their politics, and the engagement with fans on that level. I mean, in so many ways, it seems really harmful. I mean, isn't the whole Marvel and DC predicament, the whole birth of ComicsGate, a lot of that is due to the interaction that the pros were and are having with fans, and it's not a good thing.
I mean, might not be the best take in the world, but I actually liked Diamond previews, because when I was buying comics growing up, I didn't have to worry about what this adult was saying and why I shouldn't be reading it. I could just sit there and go, I like a Punisher book. That's pretty cool. I didn't have to go and look at the name and try to sit there, and I could, maybe if I posted online, like took a Facebook picture of it, now all of a sudden I got like, oh, you can't be supporting this book or that book because of this thing or that thing. I'm like, that's not really what it's about. I'd rather just buy a comic book.
Yeah. A guest you had recently on your channel, Fuckhead, was Rob Willis.
Yes.
And I would say that he is a creator within the ComicsGate, network that has certainly retained a pretty high level of mystery.
Exactly the reason why I was calling and referring him to as the mercurial Mr. Rob Willis that evening, because exactly what he does. But he, in this instance, what he said on my show was, do I want to tell you, or do I want everyone to go and watch the show?
It was a good show.
What he was saying specifically about ComicsGate was that he doesn't use the hashtag, doesn't have it in his name. He doesn't do that because he doesn't feel that it's right for him to call himself ComicsGate. What he would rather the fans figured that out.
Yeah.
Which I think is a decent way of looking at it. I think that's a nice perspective to have. I think other creators could learn from that as well. But just to touch on what you were saying there, Mitch, I think it's a difficult thing for some people to understand at times, that you can like a creator's work but not like them. You don't have to. There's two things that the two things can operate in paradox. You don't have to like the work and the creator to be able to, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Invest yourself in it. If you look at most painters, most of the big name painters that we would think of the modern era, particularly men like Picasso, loads of people love his fucking work. Picasso was a knob. Yeah,
and I think that goes with kind of like Dome City Sandman was saying here, is that once you do cross over and you do get exposed to that, it's hard to go back. Mm-hmm. Once you realize, like, dude, this guy's a total idiot. Like, what the hell? Why would you say that? Why would you put that in print, or why would you put that in a song or on a video or something? Whatever exactly. The medium, you go, why in the hell am I buying a product from this guy? Oh my god, it's hard to go back once it's broken.
Ink spots.
What's up, Ed? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you're coming through pretty well.
All right, cool. I wanted to try this again. I'm out here in a mud hole listening to you guys, and I think you guys are talking about some important stuff, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's it's really relevant to ComicsGate for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say is when I was growing up, my mom would always have a saying for me: if you're always having trouble with people, stop for a moment and look at what the common denominator in all these situations are. If it's you, then you're the problem.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
That's one thing I would say. Maybe I know not all of the people in War Campaign. In fact, I love a lot of the guys in War Campaign. But there's a few bad apples that are kind of ruining it for all you guys. And when
damn, man, we were doing our best to avoid this topic.
Oh, I know.
But you slam dunked it.
And it needs to be said, and things need to be able to be said, openly discussed, without having a target put on your back. You need to be able to speak your mind as a creator, as a consumer, And what
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying is if a few bad apples are ruining the whole bunch, and like Ethan said with Cecil, listen, if I was going to work every day and I had to deal with the same motherfucker that was fucking with me every single day, and they just kept fucking badgering with me, what would I do? I would try to avoid that person. I would try not to have any kind of contact with them whatsoever. What's the difference between that and like online? If someone's fucking badgering you constantly, you're not going to want to be hanging out with that person. And if that person's associated with a certain group, we're just human, man. We're all human. We're going to assume that everybody in that certain group, especially if there's 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever acting the same way, is like that. I mean, isn't that just human nature? So that's all I would say. I mean, I'm not coming out against War Campaign. Like I said, I love a lot of the guys in there. I love a lot of people that associate with War Campaign. Some of our biggest fans are War Campaign. I'm just saying, you guys do need to do a little internal stuff, guys. You can't have pricks out there just fucking with creators all the time. You can't. It's not going to work. You're going to destroy the whole thing, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay,
it doesn't feel productive. I like how it's really awesome that all of that was said from the mud hole. I think that's pretty fitting because it's a big fucking shit mud hole. It's a big mud hole.
This is what we're doing during the day, we're not drawing comics. I'm on my lunch break right now, sitting in the fucking mud hole. Don't you think I'd rather be behind the drawing table working on Cash Grab or working on me and Rot's project? It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
I mean, and then say I get off at the end of the day. I'm fucking sweaty. I'm stinky. I go home. I want to get on the internet. I want to talk to my peeps in ComicsGate. And the first thing I see is 25 messages from War Campaign fucking with me, fucking with my friends with dildos on all of our heads. You think that's what I want to see? It's not. I mean, I'm on there. I want to be a creator. I want to have fun. I want to have comics to be like they used to be, how they felt when I was a kid. People don't like to be fucked with. It's some things are funny, and sometimes it's just fucking with people. People don't like to be fucked with. Yeah. Human nature, baby. So go ahead, take it back, Rob. Get this conversation going in a positive direction.
No, I think that was positive. To be honest, that's exactly. I think that's where the energy needs to be. You've absolutely nailed it. And we should be able to talk about whatever the fuck we want. Isn't that part of what ComicsGate is built on? I mean, that's a core component of it, and it seems like you've got people walking on eggshells. And that's never fun. Nobody enjoys that shit. So, yeah.
Well, and how do we know where we're supposed to stand either? Who's okay to be associated with?
Yeah, I know. That's all this guilt by association.
How am I supposed to keep track of everybody that's mad?
Yeah.
I don't know everybody that's mad at each other, especially if you're trying to run a show and have creators on. Who's mad at who right now? I don't know. Do I have 2 mortal enemies on my show right now? I don't know. I'm not in the loop on this,
Yeah.
I'm not your enemy, Spotty.
I love you, Captain Fuckhead, just because your name is Captain Fuckhead. I mean, I have to love anyone that has fuck in their name.
Yeah, I do. To bring it back, because this is such a strong statement and it's so on point with the discussion. It is really. I appreciate what Fuckhead was saying. Like, we should be able to separate the artist and, their work from things they might say or do or interactions you might have with them. But psychologically, that's easier said than done, I would say. Yeah. Once it's in your mind.
Situations where I wish I would have separated the artist from his work, because how many artistic heroes of yours, especially in the last few years, have you seen talking stuff on Twitter, and then it ruins your whole experience? You love their work. I would say Doug to Naples, like one of those where I actually really loved his work, but now that it's hard to separate him from actions, and so.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's better sometimes I don't want to get to know my heroes. I just wanted them to stay my heroes and look at their work.
I mean, to be fair, I was absolutely gutted when I found out that Donal won't take pineapple on a pizza.
Yeah,
I know.
that's,
I mean, what's wrong with the guy? And look at that steak eating habits. I mean, that's just a travesty.
I love that whole the whole.
Pineapple on pizza. No.
No, you're on that. You're on Donald's side of the fence on that, Mitchell.
Yeah, pineapple pizza. I will concede the steak point. Yes. 100 times yes. But pineapple on pizza, no.
Do you see how this divides fandom?
Yeah. You know, you got to bring up the pineapple, and here we are. Now it's a war.
Yeah.
We got to get Donald in here, man. He'll set it
come
straight.
on.
He's got the passion about this. Yeah, I think Liam's got his next show. This is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I love the model for ComicsGate in so many ways. I love this interaction, this intimacy that goes on with the creators and the fan base. I think it's fantastic. It's really cool. But at the same time, you know, I do like having the separation where it's just like I have this comic in my hand and there's a list of names and I don't really know anything about them. All I know is what's in my hands. Do I like it? Does it have an impact on me? That's all I have to concern myself with. That's all that's in my mind as I read that comic book. And there's something to be said for that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's complicated.
I think it's best if it's kind of somewhat controlled. I feel like social media can be a little bit uncontrolled. Where I do agree, I'd have to scroll up in the chat, but someone was mentioning how it's good to get like their appreciation of the passion that they have for the product and like their art and what they have. And I think that's definitely a good thing. But sometimes social media can be a little bit uncontrolled, where like it's easy to get that, like how they mentioned with politics. It's easy for that to kind of slip in a few times, and like maybe they touch on a hot button issue for you, and all of a sudden it taints that little bit of the kind of a puzzle or piece or whatever. I'm sorry, I think
that's fair. I think if the weird thing is, I actually think creators need to understand that if they go and do shit on social media, if they're going to go and take part in that sort of stuff, they actually do have some sort of responsibility. Because if they are under the illusion that they can go onto social media and say whatever they want and that no one will give a shit, like everyone will still like them, that's a complete fallacy. Just will not happen. But if they are careful, if they go on the internet and they're promoting stuff and they're not saying a bad word about anybody, they're just getting on and doing their thing, then who's not going to love them if you're into what they're doing?
You have to look at it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it flips it. There's two sides to the equation. You can either, like I was saying earlier on, you can either look at them and say, well, I don't like you, but I like your artwork, so I'm going to continue to support you. And the creator has some level of responsibility there as well.
Mm-hmm. You have to, in my eyes, like I've worked jobs where they've limited what you can post on social media regarding a lot of different things and like locations you're working and things like that. And that's a limit that you have. And it's easy when you have a corporation putting that kind of limit on you. But when you're your own employer and you're your own voice, sometimes it can be hard to put like a professional almost limit where you're like, okay, this might not be a good look to have projected out that I'm saying. This might taint my brand a little bit. And if you're the one making that call, it's hard sometimes. But if you have someone else making that call, it's way easier. Like I sit there and I look at a few different things that I see, and that's the difference between some of these people is like I don't see them making these hot takes like even like Scottman references, like when he tones it down a little bit when he's on a contract, just because he's like, dude, I don't want to draw any negative attention to this stuff. That's a professional way to handle it, you know? And sometimes you need that. Yeah.
I mean, someone who seems to have it down pretty well is Dan Fraga. I mean, I pretty hard pressed to find anyone to say that they don't really like the guy, you know? He presents himself really well. I think he knows how to keep his feet out of the shit. You know, he's really good at that. He keeps it in a place. I really like the vibe and tone of what he's doing. so I don't know. I think it can be done really well and be a huge benefit to a creator. If you let people into your little world, and they get to share in that with you, and they get to know you, that can certainly help you a lot. But I don't know, man. It's the mystery of the like the mystique of it, of that creator in a room somewhere doing their thing, like producing this work, and it's like this. It's almost like this lonely thing, and you don't know anything about them. I feel like there's a lot of power in that too. So it's really impossible in ComicsGate to. You have to put yourself out there in this model for it to work for you. But again, Rob Willis seems to be towing the line. Like, he seems to be actually succeeding at maintaining a level of mystery, putting himself out there just enough. So I think he's benefiting in both ways. So I guess it can be done.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt that he's like super mega talented too. So
that always helps.
Demand,
yeah,
I mean,
and that I think that was, I can't remember where it was. If it was on a previous show here or another stream I was watching. But yeah, if you're at a certain level of just raw talent that just blows people's minds on contact, you certainly can just let that do the work for you. You really don't need to put yourself out there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But maybe even with ComicsGate, maybe there is something to be said that maybe we all should let the work speak more for us, and maybe we should shut the hell up a little bit. Maybe putting ourselves out there too much. Maybe that isn't the right way to go.
Well, isn't that
for
the
everyone
direct opposite of what the model is, though? The model is put yourself out there. Yeah, so it's like get yourself out there, get your YouTube channel, speak your mind, and so that's like the complete opposite. There's really no level of mystique. I mean, we know pretty much everything there is to know about EVS. He tells us about his life. He tells us about his day. When we tune in and we're like, we want to hear. Yeah, I was in the pool, man, and my hanging out with my family, and I mean that's endearing. That's things you like to hear about a creator. That lets you know what kind of person they are, and that's his brand. That's what he's selling, and that's what is kind of the ComicsGate model, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
But like at the same time, like what we're also looking at is when you start getting into the areas that tend to make people argue and bicker for eons, like when you start touching into the politics, when you start touching into like things like politics, religion, all that kind of stuff, that of course is going to drive people away. Even if that's on your mind, sometimes it might be better to not go out and broadcast exactly that. That's kind of where I come from with it. Like I want to have a pleasant conversation, but at the same time I kind of have a conversation with them like maybe we're a casual acquaintance, where you're not necessarily going to go into this hot topic like a hot button issue or anything like that. You'll have a pleasant conversation about your day maybe, and you'll both have an enjoyable conversation. You say later, maybe you guys see each other again at the store like next week or whatever.
Right.
You're not gonna sit there and have a philosophical conversation. It's not like you guys are best buds and you're sitting there at his kitchen table. It should be like I don't know, I kind of treat it like a casual conversation.
Yeah. Oh, Mitchell, go fix an airplane.
I wish, man. This lockdown is killing me. All I'm doing is reading tech documents and like, yeah, you shouldn't do it this way.
Is that really messing with you?
When I got the job, I was like, I want to do anything that's not a desk job, and that's how I was able to get into this program to become an aircraft mechanic. And like, oh yeah, well you could push pallets around the warehouse, you can become an aircraft mechanic, but it's a long process. I'm like, all right, I'll do that one because that sounds like I'm not going to be in a desk ever. And lo and behold, the lockdown happens, and I'm sitting here at a computer, and I'm reading like technical manuals. I'm like, you don't want to do it that way because this is what's going to go wrong. And then the engineer goes, but why is it going to go wrong? Because you can't do it that way. The wrench doesn't fit. and you're just, not what I
saw an airplane yesterday for the first time in months.
Oh, kick ass.
Got excited. And then today, I was outside doing some stuff in the garden, and I saw 2 fighter jets playing tag.
Oh wow, nice.
Oh, I live in there. There's an RAF training facility, whatever it is, far enough that planes fly over where I live, and they're out playing tag all the time.
Nice.
And you see, there's the massive fucking armored helicopters and all that sort of shit fly over my house loads. But that they haven't stopped. All the other planes gone. All the RAFs still going, doing all this shit, which you would hope they would be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In typical fashion, I haven't bothered to introduce Gargoyle for like I don't know how long. God, I suck at this. Gargoyle, are you there?
No, you're fine. You all were on a tangent.
Yeah.
You introduced me, it would have been disruptive.
Right.
Anyways, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Do you have any thoughts on this? What do you feel about like creator mystery? Is it good?
About the last couple days? Or
No.
creator mystery.
We're talking like
Yeah.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing that we've kind of, in most ways, in a lot of ways, we've lost that, where the creator is kind of this mysterious figure that we don't know that much about, and we kind of get to know them through their work. That's really our main point of contact.
I mean, really,
And I feel like that's, that has changed so much.
I mean, most of the creators we got to know in the beginning, we were kids when we were exposed to them, so all we knew was their creations until we got older, and we decided to, hey, we want to learn more, or walked into them at cons, My biggest disappointment was when I was walking to cons young and dumb, and I was like, how much for a drawing? And they straight up bluntly tell me $50. I'm like, oh. But that was because I was dumb and ignorant.
Yeah, I mean, even you hear those.
How are you? Sorry. Go on.
You hear those stories of people going to cons and like meeting, having a pretty negative experience. And even something as simple as that, just a moment in time where maybe it was a letdown, or you felt that they didn't appreciate you, or whatever it was, and even that can have a pretty large impact on your future appreciation of the work. And it probably shouldn't, but it's really hard to separate these things.
Well, it's a competitive market.
Yeah, never meet your heroes, man.
It's not like that's the only comic book in town, or that's the only artist in town, where you can have an artist that even if you have no interactions with, but like, he does good work too, but you're trying to weigh these two options. Like, yeah, this guy was kind of a dick to me at one point. He has good artwork, but this guy over here, he hasn't been a dick to me at all, and he has good artwork too. Maybe I'll spend my $5 on this,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Xbox is, probably, it's, and of course it's a kind of a cliche saying, never meet your heroes, but I think there's some truth in that, and I don't, it's fascinating, man. I can
say as a creator, I have been thinking that maybe I should do less live shows, do more recorded content. Wouldn't that be an easier way to steer clear of all the controversy? Look at Zach; all of his videos are recorded. He posts them to the internet. He doesn't have to deal with live fan interaction. So, is that the way that we should go? Is that
that's a really
model
good
we
point.
should be following? We still get on YouTube, but don't go live.
I think there might be. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just said I think Zach has the best advertising. He's got word of mouth from a lot of key people and a lot of small people. Just right now, we're talking about Zach and just mentioning the projects. That's just word of mouth.
Right.
I think that videos would be a good. Sorry, I totally interrupted you introducing Scotsman. My apologies.
How you doing, Scotsman?
What a fucking shit show!
Oh God, you're gonna bring it back.
No, no.
No, it's okay.
I watched it live. I watched one of the most disingenuous bullshit conversations unfold in front of my eyes, and that's
which one are you referring to? EVS's show or Liam's after that?
I watched Liam's show, and I watched them both actually, but
yeah.
the timeline is not accurate. It's not accurate.
I'm sure it isn't, but it's like, okay.
See, the thing is, this all started a year ago. There was some squabblings going on with Malin and War Campaign a year ago. I saw it on Twitter, and Malin's answer to that was, "Keep your trouble where your trouble's at. I'm fine."
Yeah.
He said that to Ethan directly on his stream, and everything was cool. In the front, in the background, shit's still going on. I don't pretend to know. I don't want to know. But the thing with Cecil is, it's easy to forget the fact that when Anna's cover came out, she, quote, retweeted a bunch of people who were criticizing her to her fans. Her fans came back and attacked everybody who was just sharing their opinion, no matter how mean and bullshit it was.
Yeah.
They were sharing their opinion. She was defending herself. Cecil inserted himself into that and wondered why he's got attacked for it. He didn't. He should have got the fuck off Twitter. That's
Maybe.
the thing.
Maybe.
No, not maybe. He should have.
No, he should have.
It was
That's
not
what
his
I was
fight to
asking
fight.
for.
He just should have left it alone. It would have burned itself out. It would have been fine. And then now he's defending himself.
Yeah.
It was a self-inflicted wound. And I don't want to forget that. I think that's easy to say. Like, well, what happens when Cecil gets attacked over and over and over and over and over? Yeah, I completely agree. He's acting reasonably. He's getting attacked. But to say that he didn't insert himself into the timeline is not true.
I didn't realize. I mean,
I watched
of course
it
he
happen in real
did.
time.
Of course he did. But it's like, at what point, all of this shit is not helping anyone. It's not helping ComicsGate.
Agreed.
It's not doing. It's not moving anything forward. It's in fact having the opposite effect.
Agreed.
And it's like, okay, so it seems like there are key players that just want to escalate it and make. They're going to just keep repeating the narrative over and over and over. It's like it's a point in time. People made mistakes.
Exactly.
And if you just want to, if the only thing that's important to you is that you're right,
right, exactly,
right, and you're willing to burn down this thing that hundreds and hundreds of people are working in and trying to build and trying to make stronger.
My problem is when people
I don't
lie.
know.
My problem
What's
is
that?
when people. My problem is when people lie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
When you make up a story about someone. When Sketch makes up a story about Liam. When somebody says something about something they don't really know about, they make up a theory.
Yeah.
Right. When somebody says War Campaign is doxers. When they say that they beat their wives. When they say that they when you make up a story about Ethan. When you call us Nazis. When anybody does that, that's when you become an adversary.
Yeah.
And the point is, that breakdown of the timeline yesterday was a little disingenuous. It wasn't accurate.
Yeah.
So, I personally think, and Inkspots, he can attest to this. When all this went down, I went on F Mondays with Inkspots, and I was like, I am so mad at Cecil right now. And Inkspots was like, whoa, hey, buddy. Everything's cool. I'm employed by him, so you need to stop right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
He shut me down.
Yeah,
and it was his show. It was his show, so I shut my mouth. And I recognized in that moment I'm out of line, and I stopped it.
Yeah. That's you, and I think that's it sets you apart, man, because you have that composure about you, that professionalism that everyone appreciates.
The mask flips sometimes, and I apologize, but I see stuff that's going on right now, and I'm so sad to watch this shit.
Yeah, it is. It's sad.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna continue
the community's hurting all around. So.
Yeah. Like when I saw what was going on with that, and that's one of those things that made me start unfollowing people, was when the kind of like incident with Cecil kind of getting involved into that was what made me start unfollowing people. I'm like, dude, I like some of these guys' work. I like kind of like the persona they present at times on YouTube, but
Yeah.
this is not what I want to see, and this is not someone I want to be involved with. I started unfollowing people because of it, and it's just a mess of a thing. It's one of those things where you have to watch what you're doing, and then when you start seeing people do stuff like that, you can't overreact either. But it just goes into, like, you have to really keep a hold of yourself if you're marketing yourself on a platform like this. You can't.
I'm really fucking uncomfortable expressing my opinion right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd just like to say,
Yeah.
and this goes back to the topic of, the whole creator mystery thing. And with ComicsGate model, obviously, it's about putting yourself out there. And whenever you do that, when you present yourself on a platform like YouTube and social media, especially on YouTube, when you're showing yourself, you're doing these hours-long live streams where you're being as authentic and genuine as you possibly can be.
Yeah.
That makes you vulnerable. People are putting themselves out there on the line.
Look at the
And
retail model, brother.
I feel like we could all respect each other a little bit more in that regard. That we're all putting ourselves out there. We're making ourselves vulnerable. You know what I mean?
A little bit of grace goes a long way. And
that's it.
The retail model, like I was gonna say, there's a reason why the guys in the warehouse that are stocking the shelves and that are doing shit that, that don't really have customer skills, why they aren't running the register, why they're not ringing people up, because they don't have those skills. Some might. I'm just saying, generally speaking, you go. Yeah. If you're not in a position where you're dealing with customers directly all the time, you haven't developed that ability to absorb criticism or absorb unrealistic customers or the Karens of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not for everybody. A lot of artists are very introverted. They don't take criticism well. They're a bigger critic of themselves. A lot of people are really self-conscious about their work.
Yeah.
Coloring in front of the handful of people that come to my streams I've been doing it for a really long time, so it doesn't really bother me, but I can see how a lot of people be sheepish about that.
Sure.
It's because when you make a mistake, everybody sees it. Oh my God, you made a mistake. And you get people like Testify going, you blew it. End the stream now. This is boring. I'm asleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This fucking guy. I love Testify.
Yeah.
And hate him at the same time.
I don't know. I feel like small, there's doses, right? There's it doesn't, trying to permeate everything with the same shtick, I think is that's not necessary. There are unique personalities. There are people doing different types of shows, all kinds of different content. To somebody watching a bunch of people draw and just kind of chit-chat and comment on each other's drawing, that might be the worst experience they could imagine. To others, it could be the greatest thing that they want to engage. And if you don't have to go in and try and make everything in your image. That I don't like that. I think it shows a lack of respect, and I'm not on board with it.
Check this out. Think about this. There was a point in time in the timeline, right? Think back. Think logically for a second. When social media became a thing, and artists, creators, they now had direct contact with fans, and the reaction, the elitist reaction from a lot of artists, that layer of separation between the mechanism of delivery and distribution and the large creative house where the artist is locked away in the dungeon, that's now gone. And so whenever they had interactions with fans that were negative, it hurt them. It hurt the artist. It hurt the fan. And this negativity on social media was born.
Yeah.
And thus ComicsGate was born out of that.
Right.
It didn't exist before. The only time you really interacted with artists was when you went to conventions, or if you saw them in a Kinko's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was it. So.
Yeah, exactly. So so in your mind, is that loss of creator mystery, that separation, has it been more helpful or more harmful in your mind?
Oh, yes, harmful. I can tell you one thing. I unfollowed every actor on Twitter. Every one of them.
Yeah,
I can't watch movies now because of a lot of these guys. Because all I hear is the text I've read of them on Twitter.
You're speaking to the choir, brother. I haven't gone to a movie in 3 years.
Dude, I used to love Patton Oswalt. I can't even listen to him talk anymore because of his Twitter account. I unfollowed him.
Yeah,
that's the weird little fat dude, isn't it?
Yeah. But like Robert De Niro, there are dozens of De Niro movies that are in my top favorites, and to see what kind of wacko he is in real life, holy shit.
Yeah, and it's like you can say like, well, can't you just separate all of that from his body of work? And it's like,
it's hard.
I don't know that that's psychologically really possible. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but man, it's really tough.
If you have perfect benevolence, then yes, but we are not perfect.
But you're close.
No, not even close.
I think it comes down to how much it is. Like, it's okay if they're talking about things that are little disagreements, but when they start getting into, like, you know, maybe an issue that's close to your heart, and they have a very hot take on it, or spicy take, whatever you want to call it, on it, that stuff's hard to get out of your mind. I'll guarantee that. But, like, you can have someone, you know, like someone could say, you know, pineapple on pizza is 100% what should be on it 100% of the time. I disagree with them, but I'm not going to go and so then I'm not going to boycott their work over it. You know, there's a level to it where, like, you can go with some minor disagreements from the stuff, but as soon as you start getting into these hard issues, that's where you start driving people away. You're not going to really win a lot of people over to you for taking that hard stance a lot of the time. But you'll drive a lot away.
That's what I was getting at earlier on when I was talking about creators, and they come online. They have a responsibility to themselves. Well, not the responsibility to their fans, but a responsibility to themselves. To conduct themselves and discuss the things that are relevant to their work. Everything else, leave it behind. You don't need to bring it to social media. It's unnecessary. You're talking about Ethan earlier on, talking about how his day's been. That's cool. Like, I haven't got a problem with that. Do I want to hear about his politics? Not particularly.
Right.
I'm not
and
really
I don't. I mean, I do. I think he has. I think he has pretty structured and good boundaries in terms of the things that he doesn't want to be on the show and does.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I think he is a shining example, like Scotsman is. Scotsman is the same way. If he won't discuss things in the open that don't need to be discussed in the open.
You honor me, brother.
Ethan's the same. You saw the stream the other night when it all kicked off. He went, you know what, fuck it, just kill the stream. I'm not dealing with it. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you do have, as any creator out there, I don't care whether you're in comics, whether you're an author, whether you're a painter, you still have a responsibility when you're online. But that responsibility is to you, because if you fuck up, that's on you. It's going to hit your bottom line. And then if you take that to somebody else's doorstep and fuck up for them, that makes it even worse.
Yeah, it's a cascade. I mean, anybody connected to you.
It's a weird thing too, because we've had these kind of things happen before, not necessarily in comics. And I know we're specifically talking about comics, but you look at what happened in Paris in the early 1900s to the 1920s with the development of modern painting, and you had the sort of the cafe culture. And all the artists would hang out at cafes because they couldn't get into galleries, so they would hang their work in certainly artists that we recognise now as being great. They used to hang their work in cafes because that was a way of getting it in front of the people. And they would they would end up hanging out in these cafes so people could go and talk to them. So we've experimented with this kind of thing before. It's just a case of it takes a little bit of time like I was saying the other day about social media. I don't think we've figured out how to use it properly yet. So it's just going to take a little bit of time for people just to go, okay, right, we figured out what doesn't work. And that's usually the way humans work when they're trying to work out how stuff is going on. They figure out what doesn't work and then move from there. And I think that's what we're seeing with social media, particularly Twitter, which is I hate the place.
I have a feeling this might be something I don't really want. We'll give it a second. How you doing? Happy Harry.
Hey guys, how you guys doing over here?
Doing good.
Cool. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be on the show today. little bit about myself. My name is Ray Ramos, aka Happy Harry Hardon.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
It's just a little homage to the movie Pump Up the Volume back in the '80s and stuff. So really
Nice, dude.
big fan of that.
Interesting turn of phrase. Homage.
There you go.
Indeed.
I'm with the 656 Comics crew down.
Oh, okay.
In,
Can you?
mhm.
Can we probably got a good 15, 20 minutes. I think this conversation, I'm still pretty into it. I think we have more to say on it. Can I bring you back on in about 20 minutes?
Sure, of course. I'll be around. I'll be right in the what is it? The green room.
Yes, I have someone else I want to pop in real quick, and then
You can kick me out.
Was
Good to
that
meet you,
Gargoyle?
Harry.
No problem,
You can
sir.
kick me out if you need
Your
room.
show. You can kick me out. It's cool.
Good,
No.
good to meet-
Let's
good to
if
meet
you
Harry.
wanna stick around for the discussion, that's cool. Let's get Gargoyle out of here. Okay, this is another member of 656 Comics. Nice.
Yes.
All right. Very nice. I think I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, I do have it on the thumbnail, that we are going to be talking a bit about Escape or Die, comic book that is going to launch soon. So we will dive into that in about 15, 20 minutes. But in terms of the discussion, I think something to remember is, like, people want to get to know you, your personality. I think there's a difference between letting people get to know you and your quirks, your personality, your creative process. And then, you have to form some boundaries about, there's no need to get into, like Mitchell has said, I think everyone has said, there are just things that it doesn't serve your interest, and people don't really want that from you. I think they're interested in who you are. They want to get to know you a little bit, but they don't need to know how you feel about everything, especially about hot button topics that can really rub people the wrong way. So figuring out how to do that, how to let people into your world, how to let people get to know you without crossing those lines, it's tricky, but it can be done. And I think people are doing it quite well. Some people are.
I know I can be an asshole when I'm mad. There's no question. I just asked my wife. I know I can. But when I'm online, I've tried my hardest to nope the fuck out when shit's going down. And it's not that I don't have people's backs. I do. It's just if it's not going to be productive, if there's nothing I can add to the conversation, if it's gonna impact me, those connected to me, or the project that I'm on, I shut my mouth. You know what I mean? And it's not that I don't got your back. I do, but it's not gonna solve anything.
Yeah.
So like when Cecil was defending Anna, he didn't need to do that. He could have just noped out and just let it burn out. Because directly following, she went on Liam's show and addressed everybody who came on. Mossy, Testify, anyone else who came on who had criticisms. She addressed them directly, professionally, to the point, which just showed she could handle the criticism. That's all.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine.
Hail, Sade Comics. Good to see you in the chat.
Just coming from like a fan perspective, sometimes I've caught myself being impatient or disrespectful to people because I didn't really understand what was going on. And you have to, even though the creator's under a lot more weight, they need to know that, hey man, these people don't understand fully. They're not in the same realm. You have to be a little bit patient with these people, and I've definitely seen creators be patient with me, and it just happens. Sometimes you get caught up, like I get caught up in my own life, my own world, and I'm like, dude, I want this now. It's impractical for me to ask it now, but sometimes you just gotta put on that little customer service smile and go, get it to you as soon as we can, buddy. And that's all really, like, I'd want or expect. Like it's customer service. It's I have a question.
Plus the fan churn that's going on. I mean, A marketing term you might have heard is churn, right?
Sure.
Whenever you have a customer base or a fan base, there are people who come in and people who fall out. People just naturally get disinterested on their own. Not that they're angry. Some people get interested. They find you various places. They find you word of mouth. They see you on a show, whatever it is. They become interested. Then they become a fan. Maybe you say something that pisses them off, and then they bounce. That's a natural churn of ComicsGate. It's a natural churn of everything. Any product or creative market of any kind.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can add something to the conversation as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
as far what you guys are talking is pure and it's true. And at the end of the day, it just depends on what type of persona you want to emit, you want to put out there. And you got to remember also that you got to be able to dish it out and take it at the same time. You got to have a hard skin, a tough skin in order to make it anywhere, not just in this industry, but any industry, because there's going to be criticism left and right all the time. And but you got to also keep it pure for yourself, because at the end of the day, it is just you and your work and the persona that you put out there. And if you have the passion for it, honestly, I mean, in our streams, when we talk very frankly, we talk the truth. I at least try to be honest with everybody. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and I'm going to tell you how it is, how I see it. Of course, once again, it's an opinion, and just like an asshole, everybody's got one. So, and that's the thing that I want to really put out there. I have this passion for this medium. I have this passion for the work that I do, and as long as that comes across, whatever you're selling, if you're pure about it and you have the passion behind it, then I'm all in. I'm interested, and I want to see what you got.
Nice, dude. That's very well put.
Great
Like
point.
it.
Great point.
Yeah. I think it's fast. Scott, when you brought up celebrity actors specifically, and its impact that has had on film, and it's like it goes back to you want to let people get to know you, your personality, and I think with the onset of social media and these things, it became dreadfully apparent that most of these players, they don't have one. They're empty shells, it seems. They don't have a personality. You can't get to know them because there's nothing there.
Everybody poops, and everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, dude.
Exactly.
So, once you realize that, then you dispel a lot of the fucking...
You don't just jump into your pants.
Goddamn, I would love to.
He's not ComicsGate's greatest shit superhero. He can't.
I have them on bungee cords. I actually have my pants on bungee cords, and in the morning I just jump up through the bungee cords and land into my pants.
I'm working on writing my own code for my own Jarvis, so I can put my pants on like Tony Stark. You know what I mean? Stand on a pad and have it up on the floor. Yeah, that's what I'm working on. So, after Xenotype, though.
Nice. Well, does anyone have any closing thoughts on this topic of creator mystery and how it's kind of certainly it's become a lot more of a challenge in recent times to maintain any kind of mystery, and it really does come down to each creator really has to, I think, put a lot of thought in and figure out where they want to fall on that spectrum. How much do you want to share of yourself?
I tell you what, using an old adage from workshops, which is measure twice and cut once.
Yes.
I think creators should type it once and think about it twice.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
I've typed tweets that I've deleted. That's for sure.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times when I type out a response to a tweet, or I type out something, a response to something, a comment, and I think about what I've typed out, and as long as I get it out there, I think I'm okay, and then I just erase it, and I'm done with it, and I move on. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, it's just you and your work, and you're going to be judged by the things that you do and the things that you put out there. And honestly, during this whole lockdown, none of us should be even doing that. I feel we should just be nose to the grindstone, working on our stuff, so that when we come out of it, we're stronger. We got product. People are just beating down the door, trying to get the stuff that we're putting out there. That would be like the perfect world, of course, right? But there's no harm in just working your ass off to get what you want done and see your vision through.
Yes, man. Damn, you're nailing it.
Let me give
See,
you
right now.
Let me give you a secret. This is something that any creator can do. Create a Discord for yourself. I have a hidden channel that only I can see, where I paste all of my tweets that I don't send.
Ooh,
Nice.
No
Very
one
nice.
can see it but me.
that's interesting.
The
That's cool.
text and I'm being 100% truthful. I when I type a tweet that I know I shouldn't send, I select it all, cut it, go to Discord, paste it into that channel, and send it. And only I know about it.
You know,
And-
once we're all said and done, one day down the line, they're gonna find that channel. They're gonna find all your tweets, like an archive and stuff.
It's,
Dude, you're gonna maybe want to release that as a stretch, like a 200K
No
stretch
fucking
goal
way,
on one of your projects.
no way.
Like if I get 1 million, we'll release this motherfucker.
No way.
No, I wouldn't do it. I
Something-
wouldn't. I was gonna say I wouldn't.
After
I wouldn't do
Scott
it like
dies.
that. I'd keep all the tweets and I'd use them to write a book.
Holy shit! It's a chronicle, dude. It's a chronicle.
Well,
I want to
say,
be immortalized in your tweets, so I'm gonna say something to you. Hey man, I don't like your purple hat. Okay, now you can immortalize me in your
All right.
tweets.
It's gonna have to be
Right
a
now.
lot more harsh than that for Scotsman. He's got some thick skin.
I
I'm
don't know which
typing
purple
right
hat
now.
you meant.
That my hat is blue, so clearly he doesn't know what he's talking about.
There you go.
When I said think about things twice, what I meant by that, type it once, think about it twice, is think about it how you mean it, and then think about it how somebody else might perceive it,
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah.
and then figure out if you want to press that send button.
Yeah.
Damn. People dropping some really great wisdom on this show. I mean, it's not me, but I'm grateful some other people are here
Hey,
doing
no,
the job.
what? You've already got that nailed down. If a book goes up in value and you're on air, even if it's not your show, it's your fault. So
Oh,
it's exactly the same.
yeah.
When it comes, doesn't matter who says it on here. It's all your quotes.
Yes, that's right. But I'm happy to see you picking up that torch and running with it as well. I think it's very, very smart on your show.
Just as a creator, learn to nope the fuck out. Please, just learn to nope out. And when you come to my coloring stream and you see me and you talk with me in my chat, you're talking to me. I'm not playing a character. The only reason I don't have my camera on right now is because I'm not in an environment where I can have it on. But I always do every other chance I get. I am the person I am on stream. So I'm trying as hard as I can to be professional, to be friendly, to be informative, to be an asset to others around me. If you approach everything, try to be an asset to the community. Try to make as much money as you can by being as creative and as valuable as you can. To me, that's a function of economics. It's not just me. It's just me bringing my skills and my person to the market. And I'm marketing myself.
That's just good business sense right there, brother. I totally agree with what you're saying right there.
Dead on, man. So good.
And
Yeah.
here's another thing. It's real easy for me to, when everything's going my way, whenever nobody's fucking attacking me, talking shit to me, attacking me personally, it's easy for me to say these things. It's when the rubber meets the road is whenever that shit changes, and if it changes.
Mhm.
And
Right.
all I can do is continue to try to make sure that doesn't happen by making as many positive actions and reactions and interactions I can every day.
Nice, man. Very good stuff.
I may
Dude.
fail one day, and I ask your apology in advance.
Well, and I think this is a really important thing
I mean,
you bring
I
up
offer
right
my
there is like the
apologies.
importance,
That's what I mean.
the importance of the people around you, to look at the big picture of what you contribute on a regular, consistent basis, and measure that, maybe that one moment or that a mistake may have been made, and like go, dude, we get it. It's like no big deal. Moving on. It has to be everyone participating with that kind of mindset.
Social media is minute to minute, and all of your successes are forgotten in the instant you become an asshole.
Right.
The fan
Yeah.
turn is one of the reasons. You know what I mean? Because there are 100 people a day that view your work online and maybe see you on a stream that never saw you before, and they're new to ComicsGate, and they might start thinking, well, who is this guy? Wow, this guy's a dick.
Right.
Because you had a bad day.
Yeah.
They're new
It's
here.
true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just got to watch it all the time.
Most definitely. All right, Captain Fuckhead, are you going to hang out with us when we
Yeah, I'm
talk
cool,
about
man.
this? Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
You're going to talk
All
about
right.
a book? I'm in. Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm not up to speed on this per se, so I'm really curious to find out what this is about. It looks really engaging. So happy Harry Hardon.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you give us some introduce yourself again so people really know who you are, and give us a rundown on this project.
No problem, yes, sir. And thank you so much for giving us once again the opportunity. And thank you, gentlemen, for that discussion. That was actually quite thought-provoking. Right now, I'm like really, really awake now because that was cool, man. I
Cool.
It's very rare that I get to speak to people that are like-minded. So awesome on that.
Yeah, dude.
This is,
1 second before you get going, I've got another member of your team that is in the waiting room. Scotsman, where are you?
I could bounce out if we need someone to bounce out.
We're
Yeah.
live on stream right now.
Oh shit, I can't count.
I got you, dog.
Thanks, Scotsman. We'll just see. This is that moment where, let's just pretend that didn't happen.
We'll catch it.
All hail the California education.
That's right.
I didn't want Scotsman to go. I wanted Scotsman to stay because I want to hear his thoughts on what we got here going on. So
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah, brother.
absolutely.
No problem.
Scotsman is really good and at sharing just all his knowledge about every damn thing.
I got Lucius to ink his work. He sent me some new stuff. It's amazing. It's great.
All right.
So go
All
ahead.
right.
very cool. All right, so once again, I am Happy Harry Hardon, aka Ray Ramos in my real life, my secret identity. I'm a writer for 656 Comics. We are a crew based out of Juarez, Mexico, and El Paso, Texas. We're right on the border of the U.S. Like, I could throw a rock and hit Mexico. I'm based out of El Paso. So as of late, the border has been a hot button issue. A lot of stuff has been going on, but we've been writing about the border and border life going on for about 20 to 15 years right now. And we're trying to introduce a new genre. It's called border horror, stuff that happens only on the border that people are not privy to. We try to write our stories revolving around the stuff that we experience and things of that nature. So this is our newest offering right now. This is called Undead Border, Escape or Die. And what it is, it's more of an allegory for living on the border. And we're using zombies as a metaphor here to showcase what life on the border is kind of like, especially in Juarez, Mexico, where the story takes place. Usually, if you read about Juarez, the first thing you're going to get, if you Google it, it's going to be the most dangerous city on the face of the planet. There's about at least 50 murders a day in the city. I think one time in 1 month they ranked up to 500 murders in one day because it was really bad.
Wow.
And juxtaposed right next to Juarez is El Paso. El Paso, Texas was once ranked the safest city in the U.S., the continental U.S. And it's really strange that we have that dichotomy going on right there. As of late, El Paso has been in the news. There was that shooting last year at the Walmart that happened, and that's right down the street from me right here, maybe 10 minutes away. And so we've been in the limelight, unfortunately, as of late. But we're trying to showcase the stuff that happens using zombies as our vehicle to illustrate exactly what it's like kind of to live on the border. So this is our offering. It's called Undead Border, Escape or Die. A ragtag group of teenagers try to traverse the zombie landscape to try and find freedom and try to get away from all the badness that's going on in a semi-post-apocalyptic future here on the border. So if you want to play the trailer, I think that'll whet your appetite a little bit more and continue from there.
Great.
In 2006, 656 Comics unleashed Infestación. It became the only Latino zombie comic of its time. Now, 656 Comics brings us the most intensely shocking graphic novel experience of all time. Undead Border. Escape or die. The border is overrun by the living dead, and the only option is to escape or die. 656 Comics brings back the dead.
Yes, dude.
That was awesome.
That is a trailer, man.
That's
Thank
how
you.
do it,
Thank
really. That
Nicely
the trailer had me
done.
walked over and
Yeah,
over.
dig it.
I mean, I would
Appreciate it.
rank. I would rank that in the top 5 CG trailers I've seen for sure.
Oh wow, that's thank you. Thank
I
you
mean,
for
it
that.
really was on point. It pulled you right in. It had a lot of energy to it. You gave just the right amount of information. Good length. I mean, damn, that was good stuff.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. And Oliver, who is also on the bridge, I want to call it the bridge because of work. Was also on the stream. He's one of the artists and founders of 656 Comics. If you want to talk a little bit about it, Oli.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
I'm
Oliver, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Oliver. I'm the letterer, sorry, and cover colorist for Undead Border. And here I have my other brother, who is the writer of Undead Border. Say hello.
Hello, guys. My name is Pancho. I'm a writer for 656 Comics, and thank you for having us in your show.
Absolutely. This project looks really cool, and I love that it's born out of your experience of this environment that you live in. I think that you're using the metaphor, the zombies as a way to express these ideas. I think that's a great way to go about it.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, like Ray said, we've been doing this like for 15 years ago, and since the start, we focused on having our cities being like our part of the casting of our comics, like the main characters, our context, and being Juarez like part of the story, his own character per se.
The city itself comes into play a lot because if you know the city and if you've grown up with it, kind of like we've done, because growing up in El Paso, Juarez was kind of like a forbidden place. We didn't really go over there. There was something about the city that drew you in, when you hit 18, it was kind of like a rite of passage in El Paso to go over the border because the bridge is free. You can walk over at any time. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can walk over without any problem. You don't need a passport. You don't need anything. And what teenagers do as soon as they hit 18, well, not even 18, man, 16, they go over the border. They go to a strip. It's called the Strip. It's just a long road that has nothing but bars, kind of like 6th Street in Austin. And that's the rite of passage that we have over here in El Paso. We go over there and we drink. And we just get all messed up. And the thing about that though is that there is this mystery about going over there because bad things happen, rumors start. An urban mythology develops about Juarez, and that comes into play in the story in the book because we have aspects of that playing through the whole book. Pancho has managed to write the story in a way where the city itself is a character, and you're like, hey, I recognize that place, or hey, I've been to that bar, or something like that if you live in the area.
That's cool, man. I like that a lot. And so this is going to be 116 pages.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and it's already completed. That's the cool part right now because we already released it in Mexico like a year ago, 2 years ago, more or less.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and
sir.
we're just translating it right now, and we're gonna do a new prologue, a new intro, just to like recap on the whole Undead Border saga, because there are other books before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's always good to hear when a project is ready to go. I mean, backers definitely like to hear that. They know they're going to get their product in a timely manner. So that's really cool. In terms of the email sign up, are people that sign up early, are they gonna get any special perk?
Yeah, we're gonna have an exclusive trading card whenever you back the book by itself or the book with the behind the scenes edition of the like an ashcan more or less. So yeah, whichever you back, you're gonna get a free trading card, and that's only for people who sign up.
So right now
man.
we have the pre-sign up right now, and all those people that are on the pre-sign up are going to receive that free trading card. And we're trying to kind of lead by example a little bit, because we've seen other Indiegogos and other Kickstarters that when the project launches, as the project advances, we start adding perks, of course. Trying to make it enticing to everybody that's joining up later in the project. So as we go along, I'm pretty sure we're going to have some more secret perks that are going to pop up and surprises and stuff like that.
Nice, that's the way to do it, man, for sure. Yeah. Do you have an actual date set?
We're looking to launch early August. That's our plan right now. But if we get like a whole ton of signatures, we'll launch it. Yeah.
I think you're doing it right. I think you're showing patience. You've got this project more or less ready to go, as you said, but you want to let it build. You're going to let anticipation build and get on some shows. That's the way to do it, guys. I really think that you're doing everything right here.
Thank you.
We truly appreciate that. Thank you so much for that advice. What do you guys think about it? I mean, everyone seems a little bit quiet. Especially the Scotsman. I want to know what he thinks about it.
Well, I live in a border state, so this is not foreign to me. I live in California, so I have a very unhealthy relationship with tacos. And,
we all do, man. We all do.
I mean, my sister's engaged to a guy whose family's from Mexico, so like, there's Latinos in my family.
Cool.
And like I said, I live in a border state, so I know that there's a lot of craziness that involves the whole idea of the border between America and Mexico. And the fact that you guys are making a zombie story about it I think it's brilliant, because if there's anything that needs to be dispelled is a lot of the negativity and xenophobia that surround that kind of thing, and making a comic book about it, I completely support it. I think it's great.
And if you want to know what a Scotsman thinks, I live in a border state too, and I ain't crossing that border for shit.
It's fucking English down there, dude. There's redcoats down there.
If I cross that border, I'll never be allowed back up.
Well, a funny thing is, I got a taste of that when I was in my 20s. I took a little trip down to Tijuana, and I hung out with some friends. We drank all night, and then I had never been there before, and I went to walk back across the border, and was met with a line that was about a quarter of a mile long of people that wanted to go over because they're going to work. And I thought, I'm an American citizen. I got my ID out, started to walk towards the front of the line, because I was an ignorant, person, didn't know anything about how the border worked. And the federales were like, "Hey, amigo," and they pointed at the back of the line and they said, "Get back there." I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm an American citizen. It doesn't matter. Get in line." I was like, "Holy
nice,
shit.
Yeah, that's a good lesson to learn right there.
My white privilege was all on display."
To be fair, here there is no border check whatsoever. You can just walk across it. The only thing you have to do if you're going from north to south is hide all your colours.
Right.
Oh man. Well,
and Mitchell,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And Mitchell has dropped links to your email sign up. I also believe possibly, is that their YouTube channel, Mitchell?
Yeah, I found they actually have that trailer on YouTube, and it's an awesome trailer. So if you want to share it out, it's right there, and they have a link to that email sign up in the description of that trailer too.
Very cool.
Yeah,
so we got the links out there. Yeah, this project looks really exciting, man. I really like the energy behind it. I like what you brought to the discussion today. Happy Harry Harda.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. And just to leave you with this little bit of information as well, I had the privilege, the honor actually, of sitting with Romero at SDCC 08 back in 08. I walked up to his table and he was there signing, and I presented the idea to him that we had, because we've been working on this since 2006, and Romero actually loved the idea. Too bad I didn't get any contact information from him because I was so starstruck. But he loved the idea, and he gave us his blessing, sort of. He's like, man, I never thought about using the border as an allegory for the zombie genre, and that's great. I'm glad that you guys are doing it. Keep on doing it. So this book is pretty much going to be dedicated to George Romero for that that little uplifting piece of advice that he gave us there. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, it is really a great concept. I think you've won some people over today for sure. I know I was like, whoa, yeah. I hope that you're able to get. I know you will, because ComicsGate is supportive. When you reach out to other channels and creators, I think they're gonna see the passion in what you're doing, and I don't think you'll have any trouble getting on other platforms. So
much appreciated for that. Thank you so much, guys, for that. I don't know if these guys want to say anything. Oli, Pancho?
We're good, man. We're honored and grateful for sharing your time with us.
Absolutely. No, man. I love seeing these. I hadn't had a chance to really delve into it, so it was really cool to have you guys on. And I'm sure when you guys launch, let's bring you back.
Oh, definitely. And I want to extend the invite to you guys as well. We're starting up. We have a stream as well, and we're starting up kind of like a Latino ComicsGate thing going on Sunday mornings. And if you guys are interested, please let us know, because we want to have, even though it's in Spanish, I really don't speak Spanish very well, so we have it in English. And if you guys are interested, you can come on the show and we can talk more about the stuff that we love, the passion that we have for everything.
Nice, man. Very cool. Yeah, and the YouTube is in the chat. Captain Fuckhead, you got anything you want to toss out there for everybody?
Not that they'll want to see. So what's coming up tonight on Comic Mark's channel at 10 p.m. GMT, 5 p.m. Eastern? I can't tell time in the UK anymore without adding the fucking Eastern time afterwards. It's driving me up the wall. The CG UK show tonight. It's a show and tell show. I don't know what Mark's going to reveal. It worries me somewhat. But there'll be plenty of us kicking around. Tomorrow night at same time, so 5 p.m. Eastern, my ComicsGate interviews show is on, because it's Thursday, and tomorrow night Skits Comics.
Oh, right. Yeah, nice, man.
We love Skits. Skits is awesome.
Yeah, talk about passion, man. That's a passionate couple right there.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping it's the pair of them. I hope they both come on, but it's definitely Skits is the one that I do know.
Yeah, nice.
I've been wanting to talk to him for a long time, and I love the look of his book. I think it's great. And I just going to give another guy from the CG UK a little shout out there, because who's doing something similar. Mr. Peephole Circus, if anyone's already heard his name, he does a lot of fan art for Cecil. But he's got a similar kind of style. He does a lot of painting rather than necessarily comic book art. But he's going to be launching what we've commonly called in CG UK his little gay art book very soon.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, Peephole does some really great fan art. I've been a fan for a while.
Very talented
bloke.
Very, very talented bloke.
Mitchell, you want to preach at us about something?
I just want to give a shout out to Blade Devil. It's still in demand. I think that's an awesome project. I'm coming more from like the anime manga background. That's kind of what I grew up reading, and so I really love to see that that's still in ComicsGate. Just giving it a shout out, because it's been a minute since anyone really has.
Yeah, that's true. Nice, man. Yeah, that is the success of that is really exciting, and look forward to that book for sure.
I got the titty tentacle version. Don't judge me.
I can't.
We would judge you if you hadn't.
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Scotsman?
Back Xenotype, if you haven't checked it out. Action manga. Look on Indiegogo. It's on the colors for that. If you want to see it colored live, you want to learn how to color comics, if you got some spare time, you want to see some fat bearded ginger squish pixels on screen, coming over to my channel, Scotsman TV. I color as many nights a week as I can. Also have coloring series, how to color, that I'm working on. A few episodes of that. And then on Sundays, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, I do a comedy show, couple hours. Come in, drink your coffee. We react to some videos, do some impressions, talk some shit. It's kind of fun. So
it's always a good time. It's like a chill comedy show. I like it. Yeah.
Beyond the Gate. So check that out on my channel as well.
Nice. I want to thank 656 Comics for being here and sharing their project, Undead Border, Escape or Die, with us. It looks great. Sign up to their email list if you can. Sub to the channel if you haven't. Hail to the chat. Thank you for being here. And we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate